Once the cat's new home is found, Ovie reunites with his wife in the sunshine. But then, neighbor Kelly arrives like a food delivery hero with treats. Kelly wants Ovie to teach her driving. This time, Ovie can't refuse, thinking, oh man, hope there's no repeat. He worries that after he's gone, Kelly's family will have a great life. But Kelly is so nervous behind the wheel that it's a comedy show. The car behind is honking like it's auditioning for a symphony, and Kelly breaks down, yelling, what are you doing back there? Don't you see where you are? Didn't you check your passport? Don't play dumb with me. I'm your big brother's guardian. This is the last time, got it? Got it? The next day, she's in the garage, ready to give Kelly a driving lesson. But instead, she runs into a reporter eager to cover Ovie's heroic deeds at the train station. Ovie wants to keep his secret hidden, but this reporter is hanging on like a stubborn bear. So, she locks the reporter in the garage, but thankfully, Kelly arrives just in time to set her free. I've got you trapped, you hear me? Who do you think you are? You can't just lock her up. Kelly finds those childish antics hilarious, nearly speechless, and takes the chance to tell Ovie it's time to start living life properly. Unexpectedly, this angered Ovie, who shouted, do you know what I've been through? Ovie continues to roar, do you think I'd happily drink down all these crazy Sams? Suddenly, a car drives into the neighborhood illegally, and she turns into a human speed bump, only to find it's that pesky white bearded guy. He's had his eye on Ovie, snooping around, eagerly asking, what on earth are you up to? Could you explain your obsession with community files, please? You need to think for yourself and refrain from passing all the blame on to me. This series of actions from the Whitebeard seems to have unlocked Pandora's magical box, thoroughly infuriating Ovie. She storms back to her room, her mind ablaze with Whitebeard fury, feeling like she's been pushed off a cliff. She's so worked up, she almost wants to blow the Whitebeard away, like there's this invisible force at play. As night falls, she pulls out her shotgun and settles the cat in the bedroom. She plastic wraps the house to keep any spilled blood from handing anyone a clean-up nightmare. She aims the gun at herself, but just as she's about to pull the trigger, the doorbell rings. She storms out, fuming, to find two runaway youngsters wanting to squat again. She was initially prepared to show them the door, but upon discovering that they are her wife's students, her sternness instantly softens up. The next morning, upon waking, Ovie is surprised to find that they've thoughtfully made breakfast for her. How perfect this moment is, as it has been ages indeed since she last enjoyed such a delightful meal. After breakfast, they volunteer to patrol with Ovie. What started as a solo act has turned into a trio. Even Ovie doesn't realize that she's no longer a lonely island. She learns from neighbor Fat Bob that the Whitebeard has been scheming against her good buddy, trying to get the paralyzed buddy into a care facility for profit. Now that's slow. But the buddy's wife, trying not to burden Ovie, kept the stark secret. But upon learning the truth, Ovie feels deep regret, rushing to her wife's grave to confess. She cursed her moment of negligence for not seeing her buddy's plight. She decides to forsake her own selfish desires since there are more important things to tackle. I know you'll back me up on this, because you always catch up with my pace. Racing against time, she rushes to her buddy's wife, gathering all the paperwork for the lawsuit. She vows to bring that elderly man with a Whitebeard to court. Even though she has filed numerous lawsuits time and again, the ultimate results remain deeply disappointing. At this point, Ovie feels utterly defeated until Kelly jumps in, saying she shouldn't go through this alone. After all, a single person's strength is always limited, just like when she lost her wife she couldn't bear that grief alone. At that moment, she finally opens her heart, sharing the reason behind her wife's departure. Turns out, just shortly after tying the knot, her wife became pregnant. They traveled together and enjoyed candlelit dinners, thinking their days would be perpetually blissful. But on their way back, disaster struck, and Ovie miraculously dodged it. But the wife was trapped inside the bus, losing their baby in the process. What's worse, her legs were severely injured, and she would spend the rest of her life in a wheelchair. Back home, Ovie cleared away all obstacles and adjusted the furniture height. But her wife didn't get down and out, she doubled down on her efforts, eventually earning her teaching credentials. However, her disability led schools to reject her as a teacher. Ovie suggested schools establish an accessible pathway, but got no response, frustrating her to no end. However, her wife pushed Ovie to be even more resolute in pursuing her dreams. She worked overnight, creating an accessible pathway, fueled by sheer determination. The school was moved by her sincerity, and her wife finally became a teacher. Though her wife lost her own child, she taught countless students, and that's what Ovie is most proud of. It wasn't until 6 months after her wife passed away that Ovie shut herself away. Luckily, she's no longer alone. Tomorrow, that pesky white beard is back to bug her. And this time around, they are more than prepared to face it together.